Welcome back to From the Shadow to the Light, the podcast that delves deep into the journey from darkness to enlightenment. Hi, I'm Debbie Gill, your guide on this transformative path of profound discovery and personal evolution. Today, we'll explore the powerful and life-changing journey of leaps of faith, manifestations, and miracles. Sometimes in life, we find ourselves at a crossroads, faced with the choice of staying where it feels safe or leaping into the unknown. In these moments of uncertainty, we discover who we truly are capable of becoming. We all know how easy it is to remain in our comfort zones, to hold on to what's familiar, even when it no longer serves us. But what if you listened to that quiet, intuitive nudge calling you to step out and trust in something greater than yourself? What if you allowed the universe to guide you, even when the path ahead seems unclear? In this episode, I'll share my own experience of taking that leap of faith, trusting my intuition despite the financial risks, learning how the power of thought can manifest miracles, and how letting go of the how brought extraordinary synchronistic events into my life. It's a story of trust, action, and the miracles that come when we dare to believe in the power of manifestation. The power of thought is a fundamental aspect of today's story. What we focus on, we attract. It's a reminder that the thoughts we nurture shape the reality we experience. By shifting from focusing on debt and scarcity to thoughts of abundance, I began to see powerful manifestations unfold in my life. But there's also the art of letting go. We can get so attached to controlling the when and how of things that we limit the universe's ability to deliver something more significant than we ever imagined. This episode will show how releasing control allowed synchronistic miracles to flow into my life in ways I could never have planned. Finally, we'll touch on the role of grief in our spiritual journey. Even with miraculous manifestations, life can throw us unexpected losses. My experience with grief, especially after losing my dog, Frankie, was one of the most challenging moments I had to navigate. But through that sorrow, I found deep spiritual connections and messages that guided me. Grief, as painful as it is, can also be a doorway to profound healing and faith if we allow ourselves to feel, process, and ultimately let go. This is more than just a success story. It's about aligning yourself with the universe's energy and allowing it to work through you. So today, we'll dive deep into how listening to your inner voice, taking action on your goals, and letting go of the need to control the outcome can bring miracles and manifestations into your life. Let's begin this journey together. The crossroads of change. I had experienced significant personal growth at this point in my life, yet my professional life felt stagnant. I had been a leader for 10 years, achieved success in sales, and even won incentive trips. Still, I was struggling in the area that mattered, leadership development. In all my time there, I had only managed to promote one person to the same level as myself. This was a moment where I felt stuck at a crossroads. Many of us experience this, a point where external accomplishments, even success, no longer feel fulfilling, and we realize that something deeper within us needs to shift. Around this time, I attended the 2005 National Conference, where Jack Canfield was the keynote speaker promoting his new book, The Success Principles. Jack's message immediately struck a chord with me. His words seemed to speak directly to where I was in my journey, especially one particular principle. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. That simple idea turned everything upside down for me. Until then, I'd been holding back, afraid to ask for what I truly wanted. Like so many of us, I was scared of rejection, afraid of hearing no. But Jack's principle was clear. By not asking, I was already giving myself that no. It was a powerful realization from that point forward. I began to see that moving forward in life meant taking those leaps of faith. It wasn't just about staying comfortable, but about trusting that asking for what I want opens up new opportunities. This realization marked the beginning of a profound transformation. I realized that feeling stuck wasn't just a result of external circumstances, but an internal shift that needed to happen. I needed to change how I approached life, from staying in my comfort zone to boldly asking for what I desired. When have you found yourself at a crossroads, doing everything right, but still not feeling fulfilled or moving forward? How did you respond to that moment in your life? Is there something you've been holding back from asking for out of fear of hearing no? What would happen if you gave yourself permission to ask for it today? Taking the leap of faith. As I continued to reflect on Jack Canfield's principles, I came across something that would completely change the direction of my life. A coaching program based on the success principles. It felt like the right opportunity to break through the professional stagnation I had been experiencing. But when I learned the price, $3,500, I immediately felt a heavy weight in my chest. My financial situation was dire. I was $26,000 in debt, had no savings, and only $4,000 available on a credit card. Committing to a 6-month program with such a financial burden seemed reckless, even impossible. And yet, something unexpected happened. I felt a pull, an intuitive nudge that I had never consciously felt. It was as if something more significant than me was saying, "This is your moment. Trust that the rest will follow." That inner voice, that deep sense of knowing, wouldn't let me walk away. For the first time, I understood what it meant to truly listen to and trust my intuition, even though every rational part of me was screaming to play it safe. I hesitated, but remembered one of Jack Canfield's principles: the universe rewards action. I had everything to gain by saying yes, but if I said no out of fear, I would remain exactly where I was, stuck. I took out a cash advance, signed up for the program, and stepped into the unknown. It wasn't just about paying for a coaching program. It was about taking a leap of faith in myself, my future, and the power of trust. At that moment, I had to lean on a core teaching from AA: let go and let God. This was a defining moment for me, learning to release control and trusting that the divine would guide me if I took the action. The leap wasn't about certainty. It was about having faith that by putting myself out there, the universe would respond in ways I couldn't see yet. Looking back, I realized this leap wasn't just a financial commitment. It was a commitment to growth, stepping beyond fear and embracing the unknown. It was a leap that marked the beginning of a fundamental transformation in my career and how I approached life. That decision to trust my intuition opened the door for the miracles yet to come. Can you remember a moment when you were faced with a leap of faith? How did you feel when you took that first step into the unknown? And how did that decision change you? Is there something in your life right now that you're holding back from due to fear? What would it take to trust yourself and take that leap? Manifestation and the power of thought. As I began the coaching program, I quickly realized I had been focused on the wrong things. Despite working hard, I was in deeper debt, which only fueled my frustration. While speaking with my coach one afternoon, I vented about how my financial situation worsened. I couldn't understand why, with all the effort I was putting in, things were falling apart. My coach listened patiently and then said something that would forever change how I viewed the power of my thoughts. "Debbie," he said, "you're attracting more debt because what you focus on expands. What you think about, you bring about." I had heard the law of attraction before, but this was the first time I truly understood how it worked against me. My thoughts were focused on lack, on the growing pile of debt, and by concentrating on that, I was only inviting more of it into my life. It was a wake-up call. The realization that my thoughts were not just passive, but actively shaping my reality hit me hard. My coach suggested I start shifting my focus from debt to abundance. He gave me a simple but powerful exercise. He told me to write down the affirmation, "Money flows freely and abundantly to me," on an index card and carry it with me everywhere. At first, it felt strange to focus on abundance when my reality seemed so far from it, but I trusted the process. 8 days after I began carrying that affirmation, something incredible happened. I had taken my mother to Atlantic City for the day, and although I wasn't much of a gambler, I decided to play a slot machine. The machine lit up as I sat there, thinking about Jack Canfield's principles and the affirmation in my pocket. The siren blared, and I suddenly realized I had won the super prize jackpot, $35,574. My heart raced as the numbers flashed on the screen. I couldn't believe it. Winning that jackpot wasn't just a lucky break. It was proof that the universe responds when you change the energy of your thoughts. By shifting my focus from lack to abundance, I had invited a miracle into my life. This experience solidified my belief in the power of thought and the law of attraction. It was a moment of profound realization. What we focus on, we genuinely do manifest. This wasn't just about money. It was about understanding our mind's power. Our thoughts are like magnets, pulling in the circumstances that align with our thinking and feeling. And that day at the casino wasn't just about winning. It was about realizing that by consciously choosing to think differently, I could co-create a new reality. What are the thoughts you're focusing on right now? Are they aligned with abundance or scarcity? How might those thoughts be shaping your reality? Can you think of a time when shifting your mindset significantly changed your life? Synchronistic events and letting go. After winning the jackpot and experiencing the power of the law of attraction, I was eager to keep the momentum going. I had set my sights on the next big goal, getting Jack Canfield to sign my copy of the Success Principles at our national conference. I was confident it would happen. After all, the law of attraction was working for me, right? With over 8,000 consultants attending the event, it seemed like a challenge. Still, I believed that if I stayed focused, I could make it happen. As the conference unfolded, everything seemed to align perfectly. My assigned seat was only 12 rows from where Jack would promote his book. Perfect setup for me to get my chance. As I approached the table and waited in line, I felt the energy of manifestation swirling around me. When it was finally my turn, I handed Jack my book, shared my story about the jackpot, and even showed him a photo of me holding the oversized check. He was delighted by my success, and with a grin, he signed my book with a note, "To Debbie, my $35,574 winner. Way to go, love, Jack." But it didn't stop there. I had another goal, to have a signed 8x10 photo with Jack as a keepsake. I was sure I would get this at our next leadership training seminar, where Jack was scheduled to lead a workshop. It would be the perfect opportunity to achieve the challenge and my next signed photo. But things didn't unfold as planned because I didn't earn the contest promotion for the Leadership Summit. At first, I was frustrated. I was confident that the law of attraction would deliver everything exactly how I envisioned it. But this was a pivotal moment of learning for me. I attached myself to how and when I thought things should happen. I didn't realize that I was limiting the universe's ability to work its magic in unexpected ways by trying to control the outcome. A few weeks later, I found myself in New York City for a taping of the Montel Williams show, where Jack Canfield was scheduled to appear. Here's where the real lesson came in. I took my 8x10 photo to the Montel show for Jack to sign. The taping ran over 4 hours, and Jack had to rush to catch his plane, leaving me without my signature. I was frustrated again. thinking I had failed as I hadn't let go of my attachment to how things should happen. But as we were leaving, I ran into Betsy, who I'd met earlier, and she commented on how I had manifested great seats right on stage. Still feeling defeated, I pouted and said, "Yes, but I didn't get my picture signed." That's when I heard the unmistakable Twilight Zone music in my head, and Betsy said, "I know Jack's training director. I can get him to sign it for you." This was the universe delivering my intention in its own way. By letting go of control, I allowed the synchronicity to unfold naturally. A few weeks later, I received my signed 8x10 photo with Jack, inscribed with the exact words I had envisioned, to my $35,000 winner, Jack Canfield. This experience taught me a profound lesson. When we let go of how and when we think things should happen, we make room for the universe to work its magic. Synchronistic events can guide us toward our intentions, but only if we release our attachment to controlling every detail. Is there a situation in your life where you're trying to control the outcome? What might happen if you let go and trusted the process instead? Have you experienced a time when things didn't go as planned, but worked out even better than you had imagined? Finding faith in grief. As I continued my journey of manifestation and personal growth, life reminded me that not everything can be controlled or manifested on our own terms. No matter how much progress we make, there are still moments when we are tested, moments that challenge our faith, and grief often becomes the teacher. My dog Frankie had been my faithful companion through many ups and downs. He was a constant source of comfort and unconditional love. One day, after spinal surgery to help with paralysis, Frankie passed away in my arms. I was devastated. His death left a hole in my heart that I couldn't immediately process. Even after months of working through it, I was unable to move forward. The grief was overwhelming, and I didn't understand why it was hitting me so hard, especially since I had been able to navigate other losses in my life, including the death of my father. Grief has a way of making us feel powerless, no matter how much spiritual work we've done. But this experience also became a profound spiritual turning point for me. While walking my other dog, Chessie, one day, I looked up to the sky and cried out, asking for my father to send me a sign that Frankie was safe in his arms. I needed to know that Frankie was okay and in my dad's loving arms, just like the photo I gave him for Father's Day. I asked for something small, a penny from heaven, something I could find to reassure me. As soon as the words left my mouth, I took a few steps, and there it was, a penny on the ground. I was stunned. The timing was too perfect, and I knew in my heart that this was the sign I had asked for. My father and Frankie were together. That penny became more than just a sign. It became a reminder that even in the depths of grief, we are not alone. There is always a spiritual presence guiding us, holding us, and giving us the strength to move forward when we feel like we can't. Through that experience, I came to understand that grief is not something to be fixed or rushed through. It's a process that teaches us faith. Sometimes, the most essential lesson grief teaches us is how to ask for help from our higher power, the universe, or those who love us. This experience also brought me closer to my father in a spiritual sense. It was a profound reminder that our connection with those we've lost doesn't end with their physical presence. It continues, and it can be felt in unexpected ways if we are open to receiving it. Grief, as painful as it is, became a doorway for me to deepen my faith and reconnect with both my father and the divine. Think about a time when grief felt overwhelming for you. How did you find comfort or connection during that time? Is there a way that grief has strengthened your faith or your connection to a higher power? As we close today's episode, we've explored the profound moments when life asks us to take a leap of faith, trust in the unseen, and allow the universe to work its magic in ways we could never have imagined. Whether it was trusting an intuitive nudge despite financial risks, embracing the power of thought to manifest abundance, or learning to let go of the need to control outcomes, each step in this journey brought its own powerful lesson. Today, we were reminded how deeply connected we are to the energy around us. The law of attraction, synchronistic events, and even moments of unexpected miracles show us that when we align ourselves with intention, the universe responds. But perhaps more importantly, we've also seen how letting go, releasing the need to dictate how and when things should unfold, opens the doors for even more significant outcomes than we could have planned. We've also touched on the role of grief as a powerful teacher, showing us that even in moments of deep sorrow, there is faith to be found. As hard as it is, grief can be the space where we reconnect with our higher power, the universe, or those we've lost. It's a reminder that light is always waiting for us through the darkness if we are open to receiving it. Whether it's a penny from heaven or an unexpected message of comfort, these moments help us find our way forward when we feel lost. Life's journey is filled with moments like these, moments when we take a leap, surrender control, and discover the power of trusting the process. Until next time, keep nurturing your inner light and embracing the beauty of the path you walk. May you find strength in your struggles and joy in your triumphs. And remember, even in the darkest moments, a spark of light is always waiting to be discovered. As we bid farewell to this chapter of our journey, let us carry forward the lessons learned, the wisdom gained, and the hope that burns brightly within us. For, in the end, it is not the destination that matters, but the journey itself, the journey of exploring our hearts and stepping into the light of our true potential. Thank you for joining me on today's podcast episode of From the Shadow to the Light. As we prepare for our next episode, Letting Go of Limiting Beliefs, we'll explore how limiting beliefs become truths, how smashing those beliefs allows time to speed up, and much more. I look forward to having you with me on the next step of our journey together.